welcome to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. Once again today we are going to be talking in full about the Arthur Melo situation and about how his move to Juventus does appear to be imminent. Pjanic will be moving the other way, but we do have now a few more details about this particular deal, and I've got to discuss them in total. The wages of both players, for me, is ridiculous. We're going to be talking about that, and we're also going to be talking about the fact that all this is happening at the most important stage of our season. Are the board intent on ruining everything? It's all coming up, all discussed today. Let's do it. Because let's first of all go back to yesterday's game against Celta Vigo. Obviously there, Arthur Melo came on for the final moments there, coming on for about 4 minutes or so in replacement of Riqui Puig. And I think while he was on the pitch, it was difficult really in that short amount of time to gauge exactly how he was feeling. But I just feel right now, is his head going to be in the right place for all of the remaining games this season? But after that game against Celta, he then travelled straight to Turin immediately after yesterday's match against Celta, basically then to go and complete the medical examination with Juventus ahead of then completing that deal. And it was actually interesting there to observe who went with him on that flight to Italy, because there he was accompanied by his father, his brother. They've been advising him all the way along this particular deal, and also, intriguingly, he was joined there not only by a Barcelona doctor, but also former Barca technical secretary Robert Fernandez, who, if you remember there, he's no longer now working for the club. He wasn't with Arthur in any official capacity, but he was actually the one man who was adamant in the current board. He convinced Bartomeu, he convinced everybody there that we should sign Arthur from Gremio, and he was of course present when Arthur there was first pictured with a Barcelona shirt, and I thought that was pretty sad, the way that Arthur there flying to Turin to complete that move to Juventus, and the man who got him there, the man who helped him achieve that dream of playing for Barcelona, joined him on his path away from the club. It's just really sad. Once Arthur then did arrive in Turin, he underwent his medical at the Juventus Medical Centre, of which everything was absolutely fine there. According to reports in Italy, there was no problems whatsoever with that medical, and that was the final stumbling block really. If everything went fine there, we were then going to be moving on to the final details of that deal. And it was also interesting because, like I say, a Barcelona doctor accompanied Arthur there flying to Italy, and for that reason, Pjanic then in the Juve Medical Centre was also able to go through his medical checks and basically make sure that everything was okay with him. And according to reports from both Italy and from Spain, everything for both players all fine in the medical examination, and now only the final details are left before this deal, this ridiculous deal, it's complete. But I do want to move on here to one of the really important aspects of this deal, because it's all about money. Because again, like I said a few days ago, this is absolutely nothing to do with money on the side of Arthur. Please don't think here that he's actually said yes, he is going to leave just so he can go to Juve and earn more money, because that's simply not the case. That is not what's happening. Reports in Italy claim there, like I said the other day, that he's going to earn around 5.5 million euros each year, which equates there to around 100,000 euros a week, which is very similar, if not exactly the same as what he was currently earning at Barcelona. So Arthur is not getting a massive wage increase. He's not improving his terms hardly at all. Money really didn't come into it. He was simply forced out, and he saw this as his only pathway to leaving the club. But believe me, it gets worse. Incredibly, just when you think things haven't just got bad enough, just when you think surely we couldn't make any more ridiculous deals, well, you know what? Guess how much, according there to the reports in Spain, guess how much Miralem Pjanić is going to be earning when he signs his Barcelona contract. This, remember, is a 30-year-old player who is undoubtedly going to sign a multi-year deal. He's going to be on not 5.5 million, but 7.5 million. 2 entire million more than Arthur Melo is currently on. That there, nearly 150,000 euros a week. And let's remember here, one of our biggest problems is that wage bill. And they here have sold Arthur for pretty much 10 million euros to bring somebody in who now is going to be earning more money than the Brazilian. How does that make sense? What on earth is going through your mind to sit back and think, yeah, this is good, this is a good deal, everything is fine, and it's just ridiculous. And I'd actually go even further than that, because this is not all about finances. I said the other day, we're not a business. At the end of the day, we are a football club. Surely here, we should be putting a lot of emphasis on what's going on the field. But incredibly, all of this now is having to be done in the most crucial part of the season. And what's happening now is that we've got a player in our team who is unsettled, who is really suffering suffering mentally, and it's been reported there from Italy, a few big reports that say that Arthur is so unhappy with the club, the way that he's been treated, the way that he's been talked about there in the public eye. He doesn't even want to finish the season with Barça. He doesn't want to play in the remaining games, not in the league, not in the Champions League, and he's genuinely considering here just saying, no, I don't want to do it. Which, to be honest, if he did that, I would fully understand that. You can say, oh, it's unprofessional, he should do better. Well, you know what? He's been treated unprofessionally. He's not been treated like you should treat a player who's under contract at your club, and you should be trying to help him get the best out of his ability in those remaining games, but he hasn't been treated like that. He's been pushed there out of the back door as quickly as he possibly could. And look, I don't think it'll come to that. I do believe here that Arthur will finish the season with us. He will be in the squad if we need to count on him. But look, we're not going to have anywhere near the player that we had a few months ago. Certainly here, Arthur is going to be playing with a lot on his mind. He's going to be playing probably with his heart not really in it. Because why would you? Why would you still care? Why would you want to go out there and give everything you could for the club, quite frankly, who don't even value you? You don't even care about you whatsoever. And it just brings me back to the board once again. Because you look at it here, not only is it a dreadful piece of business financially, it doesn't make sense. Not only out on the field, sporting-wise, it's a dreadful piece of business too, swapping there a young, exciting player to an old, aging player. It's not only that, though. That's the incredible thing here, because the financial mess this board has caused, the situation they've allowed us to slip into, what they've done with this deal is actually jeopardise the remainder of our season under Quique Setien and with this current squad. Because let's not forget, like I said before, this is the most important part of our season. We're fighting for a league title. We're fighting there in August for the Champions League title. These are the biggest games that we're going to have. And now look, because of all this, you've got a player who's A, being forced out against his will. He's very unhappy. B, now like I say, he's not going to be anywhere near in the right mindset to play, and he's not really going to be able to play a part in the remainder of the season. And then C, because of all this that's been going on and the way that it's been conducted, you potentially unsettled the dressing room in the process of the deal in the massive stage of the season we're about to go into. And that is all on the board. And not just what they're doing, but the way they conduct their business. They have never gone about things in a good way, in a professional way, in a well-mannered way. That does not happen with them. And especially in midfield. You look at it right now, particularly there when you're thinking about the Champions League. Arthur say he's not going to be in the right mindset there to compete. You've got Frenkie de Jong right now, who's a genuine doubt through injury. Arturo Vidal, suspended. Sergio Busquets, suspended. Against Napoli, what's our midfield going to be? What was the plan there in one of the biggest games of our season? And what are the board doing, apart from jeopardising all of this in a squad that was already struggling for depth? And this tells you everything. This tells you everything about the people, the bunch of idiots who are running this club. They have no long-term planning. They never think beyond the next week. Because now they think, oh, the situation is fine. We've sorted it. We sorted the balance sheet. Pjanic will come in. Arthur goes out. But in a few months' time, they'll have got themselves in another mess. Another mess then they'll have to try and get themselves out of. They don't understand. I would say football. Not only business they don't understand, but they cannot run a football club. And the way they do things, it is honestly shambolic. And it's got to the stage now where it's not only disappointing, it's not only frustrating, it's not only angering, but they are an embarrassment to this club. And I know that some people will say, isn't this a bit of an overreaction? Maybe Arthur Melo was not the world beater that we expected him to be. Maybe Arthur Melo is not somebody there, not been playing so well recently. And I can say, yeah, you know what, fine. If you didn't like Arthur, if you didn't rate Arthur, that's okay. You don't have to rate everybody. We don't all have the same opinions. That's absolutely fine. But even if you didn't like Arthur, even if you'd be happy to sell Arthur, surely you can see, don't do it like this. If you're going to sell him, if you really want to get rid of him, go and get some money for him. Go and get an actual transfer fee and then replace him with somebody there with some potential. Replace him there with a player in their prime years. Don't replace them with somebody who's over 30 years old, who's going to be on more wages, and we're not actually going to get that much money there for Arthur Melo. It's not so much the player leaving. It's not so much here that, yes, many of us are big Arthur Melo fans, but it's just another example here of the way the board conduct their business, and it's shambolic. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. And time again, we find ourselves in these situations. We don't like coming here and talking about this. I don't like having to rant on and on about the bad business that we continually do. But look, This is the situation we're in. These are the people who are in control, somehow have found themselves in control of our football club. And all we can do, like I say, is count down the minutes, count down the days, count down the months until they're gone from this club. Next June, new president, new direction, new Barcelona. So that there, guys, is some more thoughts on the Arthur Melo deal. Like I say, very, very close now it is to being completed, with Pjanic there coming in the opposite direction. And like I said before, I don't want to hit out, I don't want to hate on Miralem Pjanić. He's a player that I've admired in previous years, and I don't really like to get on the back of any player who's going to wear the Barça shirt. But you've got to look at the board. You've got to there put all of the responsibility, all of the problems there. They are the cause of it. There's no denying that whatsoever. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Please let me know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what can you see in the future for this club. I will see you soon with more videos, of course. Atletico Madrid is just around the corner. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.